Okay, so this is a good looking. This is a 1982 Ralph Bakshi movie, so yeah. If you watch my other Ralph Bakshi movie reviews, I have some mixed opinions on most of them. I mean, I actually did really like the previous one, American Pop. Um, and, you know, I mean, I liked Coonskin, Wizards, Lord of the Rings. But yeah, no, I'm not going to pretend like any of those were. Well, I guess Coonskin had quite a bit to appreciate, but yeah, Wizards, Lord of the Rings, those were good movies, but, definitely not perfect. Um, yeah, obviously, Fritz the Cat and Heavy Traffic, I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, I respect them for what they were, but, yeah. And well, this one's very similar to Fritz and Heavy Traffic, and it's a little lacking in any what those movies were doing with their messaging or yeah, that's the thing. It's all these move or yeah, after Fritz and Heavy Traffic, all the movies, I think they all have some good, respectable aspects. This one, I thought had some solid animation. And, there were certain aspects of, the characters and stuff that were kind of, entertaining. But, it's also another one where the main character is kind of a jerk. Although he's pretty mild in his jerkness compared to Fritz and the guy from Heavy Traffic. But, yeah, no, he's still quite the jerk, especially, something, without giving too much away, something he does at the end of the movie that kind of, it kind of messes up a bit of goodwill I had for him. Because for most of the movie, I was like, okay, he's kind of a jerk, but, he seems, or, he kind of seems like your typical greaser. And, all things considered, he seems legitimately loving towards his girlfriend. Um, but yeah, the thing he does at the end, it's like, okay, that's kind of a D move there. And then, he's got a friend named Crazy Shapiro. So, yeah, as you can guess, he's this rather psychotic Jewish guy. And he's voiced by the guy who plays Richie Aprile on The Sopranos. I never watched that show, but yeah, one little fun fact I got about the movie was that the guy who voices Crazy was on The Sopranos. And yeah, he also worked with Scorsese. He was in Shawshank Redemption. So yeah, it looks like he has a pretty respectable, filmography. Let's see. I mean, the girlfriend of the main character, Rozzy, she's this movie's obvious, fan service character with the, the TNA, the nipples showing off through her shirt and everything. shape of her butt. And, you know, she's got a best friend named Eva, whose whole character is pretty much that she's overweight and likes to eat. And, yeah, she's got kind of a, what do you call it, fickle relationship with Crazy. So, yeah. Let me see, I mean, there's not much to say about most of the other characters. I mean, Crazy has this abusive cop father. He's a police officer, or I guess he's a detective, because he's wearing the trench coat, so I guess he's a detective. And, you know, he was doing a little sleuthing, or at least trying to. And, yeah, and then... So, yeah, basically the story is Vinny, he's... you know, he's, I guess, the leader... Or is he the leader of the gang? He's, or, yeah, it says the leader of a greaser gang named the Stompers. And... yeah, his friend Crazy is... yeah, his father apparently has legitimately tried to kill him. And... well, you know, one day they're on the beach and they... I guess Vinny gets in trouble with a rival gang of black guys named the Chaplains. And yeah, pretty much the main story is them, you know, setting up this, you know, showdown with the Chaplains and, or yeah, the Stompers versus the Chaplains. And at first, Vinny can't convince the Stompers to get into the fight, and yeah, I mean, and then of course the detective gets involved, and yeah, that's the general story, but you know, it does have plenty of the usual Ralph Bakshi tropes. I mean, again, good animation. There's a lot of scenes of, like, bickering, you know, just two characters kind of talking over each other. And, you know, Bakshi does this on purpose to kind of give his movies a casual tone, kind of make them earthly in a way, even while there's, like, all these crazy sight gags and... because, yeah, definitely... this is probably, like... well, I don't know how it... or yeah, I'd say this is, like, at least, in terms of cartoonishness, the only movie that might be more cartoonish, mainly because of its character art, is Fritz the Cat. But yeah, otherwise this is a very cartoony, very violent, very, you know, sex... yeah, very sexual, a lot of the usual fan servicey stuff, and you know, the not so fan servicey stuff. Some of the men and the ladies you see naked are, you know, not that attractive. But you know, the main girl Roz, I'll admit she's cute. I'll admit. And, hell, even her friend Eva, you know, she's kind of one of those, chubby, cute girls. But, anyway, yeah, I'm not... I guess, that's one of my curses, is that I'm not really, you know, watching these movies for, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, we all have, we all have our places where we, well, I don't need to go into it, but either way, yeah, in the movie obviously spends a good portion of the time, like, objectifying a lot of the female characters, and, let's see, trying to... I mean, yeah, it was a pretty typical Ralph Bakshi movie, and, you know, it's, well, yeah, I guess I forgot to mention it takes place in the 50s, and yet the music sounds like 80s music, at least somewhat trying to be 50s music. Some of it sounds, I guess, authentic enough, but most of the songs, it's like, this is 80s music. I mean, you know, I think every decade kind of gets a nostalgia trip about 30 years later. The 80s definitely had a lot of 50s nostalgia. And, you know, obviously, Grease was just a few years before this, so yeah, obviously that had a bit of that. And yeah, this movie was... honestly, it made Grease look accurate. Actually, you know, one thing I noticed is that this gang, the Chaplins, you know, their outfits definitely seem more 70s than 50s. Because I don't know anyone who actually dressed like that in that era, although I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not an expert with, you know, 50s fashion, or basically fashion of any era, but didn't really look right to me. And then, you know, by the end they have like this rotoscoped breakdancing scene, and let me see, I did... One thing I noticed in the credits is that apparently that scene was choreographed by Tony Basil. So, yeah, you know, ooh, Mickey, you're so fine, you know. Yeah, I think this might be, like, the same year that song came out, so yeah. So this one was definitely interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess the least I can say about all of Bakshi's movies is that they're interesting. It definitely has a lot of pretense throughout, and aspects that, you know, haven't aged great. Yeah, the racial representation doesn't seem quite as respectful. Okay, I'm saying this is like... because, you know, he intentionally designs a lot of the black characters in his movies to, like, look somewhat on the verge of becoming racial stereotypes, but you know, the thing is, I'm just not the best at, like, picking apart the messaging in these movies, and, you know, that's kind of part of the reason why I was a little hard on one of the movies that wasn't Bakshi that I reviewed not too long ago, but a little while ago. Hold on, I'm looking through my videos right now just to remember what the movie... Oh, I Go Pogo. Yeah, I mean, it was a different time, so I wasn't... or yeah, I wasn't even born yet at this time. So I don't exactly know all the things that were going on or what people had to say. So yeah, it's... this is definitely another movie where I'm like, okay, you know, it's got its charms and all that stuff, but it's not really for me. And apparently it's not for a few people, or, there are a lot of people who don't really like this movie compared to Bakshi's other films. So yeah, it's yeah, this one's not for me, but again, there's some aspects that I kind of appreciate with the presentation and all that. And yeah, so with full acknowledgement that this obviously didn't do it for a lot of people nearly as well as some of the other Bakshi films I wasn't a fan of. Because, yeah, Fritz the Cat and Heavy Traffic are both still very respected as far as Bakshi's films go. This one, not so much. So, with that in mind, I didn't hate it, but yeah, it was. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. This again, yeah, there was enough entertaining me throughout, but yeah, this movie isn't really for me. But if anything I said about it sounds interesting, if you're into Ralph Bakshi, if you're into, or if you like Ralph Bakshi enough that you want to, and you haven't seen all of his movies yet, including this one, and if you like 50s nostalgia represented through an 80s lens, then yeah, feel free to check this out. Otherwise, I mean, for general animation fans, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. But, yeah, it was interesting, if nothing else. So, yeah. As usual, if there's anything I need to add, I'll put it in the comments. Well, there's one thing, that scene at the very beginning where the trash can was talking to an old gramophone. That was weird. I didn't even get what the hell was the point of that. But yeah, aside from that, if there's anything else I need to add, I'll put it in the comments. And I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Mash it and smash it, signing off.